University of Juba has undertaken major renovation and constructions of new structures within its premise in an effort to improve the looks of the biggest and the oldest institution of higher learning in the country. Today, anybody passing through or entering the university's compound would definitely be amazed by the new image. However, the questions that many passers-by speculate are, how can the university manage to fund these kind of developmental activities with the current economic crisis? Or why is there certain positive large-scale developmental changes? Well, this documentary strives to answer these questions by posing them back to the stakeholders and key players within the administration of the University of Juba. As the Vice-Chancellor, Professor John Apurota Ketch narrates, the current developments within the university has always been his plans since taking up the position of VC in 2014. All has not been smooth since taking up office, he added. But ever since the government renewed his tenure in 2018 for another 4-year term, Professor John Akech and his administration have embarked on critical measures to improve and increase the funding process, including increment of school fees to meet certain demands.
I think this is something that I wanted to do 4 years ago, but I could not get the resources, the good plan, something that will be cost effective and that will actually work. So what is happening now is that the plans are falling in place. You know, we got the way to go about it. We got the right person who can actually do it as cheapest way possible, with most effective way possible, and also with a model of how to fund it. So last year we started with the gate and the School of the Urban Planning and Land Management and Architecture, and then the gate. So we paid it by installment, but we wanted to do it at a very reduced, like 2/3 of the cost of the market. So we cut it down very much to be cost effective. And we succeeded, So we saw how we can go about this. And Samani Hall, since 2014, I've been trying to do something, but I never got the solution how you go about that. I also was challenged by resources. Now, the landscaping was my plan in 2017 when we raised the fees. We wanted to create the students. You can see that a lot of students are standing because even the benches have been destroyed because of this. But there are not enough spaces for students to wait for their lectures or have a chat or study. Universities are beautiful places. If anybody outside is stressed, even member of public can come to university. It's always green, it's always young, but it should be beautiful. It should be green. It should be walkways where people can sit, good sights, and so forth.
The first thing is really to improve the physical environment of the university. The second aim is really, we want to show to the country and to possible donors and partners that the University of Juba has the ability to manage large-scale projects on its own. It has got the human resources that can do that, and when you look at this, we are doing it from our own. And that links us to our third objective, is to act as a benchmark to project management, to see how projects can be managed at a very, very affordable price. If you look at what we are doing, is almost 2/3 less than what the market price is. And this is also probably leads us to our fourth objective, to show that the market price in Juba is highly, extremely exaggerated, because we are doing this at 2/3 of the market price, which is very good for us. So these are really the aims why we are doing this. We also want to use this for training purpose of our students, so that they gain physical experience in how to manage projects, how to work. If you look at the labor force, a good proportion of them are South Sudanese, and they're also students who are here. They're also doing that job.
So what is taking place on campus is eye-catching, and it's eye-catching to almost everybody who comes on campus. As a senior member of the administration here, who has been here for a while, The idea of actually carrying out what is taking place here started off first by some small activity that one of our staff engineer, Alem Sheget Gabrakidan, thought of. He transformed one of the structures that he found near the School of Engineering where he's working. He transformed it and developed it into a school, the School of Urban Planning. And from that idea itself, the idea of the gate came in. And then he worked on the gate. And from the gate, the idea of renovating Samani Hall came in. And since then, the activities are actually expanding. And they have been ongoing, and as you can see on campus, there is a lot of work going on still, unfinished work. And all that work has been actually ideas that Engineer Alem Sheget came with. And every day he has something he thinks which can actually transform the institution, and he starts work on it.
The current infrastructural development and general renovations within the university can be traced back to 2018, when the university launched the New Gate, an iconic symbol which portrays the institution as a gateway to knowledge and a center of excellence. This was followed by opening of a new School of Land Management, Urban Regional Planning and Architecture, a college inspired by a book written by Professor Alem Sheget Gabrakidan, the consultant and developer who coordinated, designed and built the structure. In the same chronology, the University of Juba also endorsed the refurbishment of a staff club opposite the university on Western Front. In 2019, the administration of the University of Juba, in consultation with authorities of Juba City Council, approved the construction of 4 speed humps on Haithora Road to slow down motorists and ease students and pedestrians crossing around the university. Also in 2019, the University of Juba approved the commencement of renovation of Samani Hall and internal roads pavements. The pending projects include upgrading the current playground into a modern stadium for all sorts of activities, construction of additional gate at the eastern front, and renovation at Custom Campus and other branches across the city. As for Samani Hall, the consultant and developer who is overseeing the renovation project, Professor Alem Sheget Gabrakidan, an Eritrean national who is also a lecturer at the university, praised the design of Samani Hall and stressed the intention, which he said is not to change the shape and image of the hall, but to improve its look and transform it into a modern hall equipped with a state-of-the-art technological facility. The renovation projects also resulted to transformation of more than 200 square meters of an area that was initially used as a store and turn it into a modern lecture hall.
Whatever payment we make for Samani Hall is actually used to buy the aggregate and the sand and so on, and we started creating walkways and paving and so forth, and painting. Now we did a study. The thing is now, this time around with the payment, we are like 2/3 cheaper than what you'll get. If you go to, and I say, hey, I want this one here from the market, it will cost me 3 times the cost that it will cost us. And we are also paying by, we will pay by installment. Now we paid the last installment for Samani Hall, and we added things like the solar has been, you have 24-hour solar there, and we are trying to put projectors, good sound systems, the best projector we can get. We are still looking about how you can, do it for as a modern conference center. There is cooling systems, there are fans and so forth. So what we are doing now is that we want to, the little money we collected from students, we want to convince students to say that it is for you. Now, previously it was like a second school, and even worse than a second school. Now they begin to see that when they pay a little, something is happening. When they pay more, more will happen.
Originally, the Samani Hall was built in 1976, meaning now from now almost 4 years ago. And the design requirement of Samani Hall was in a very good standard, meaning the building is environmentally friendly. The height is 4.5 net height inside. The width is 22 meters by 20 meters, and 6 exit doors, and in every 3 to 4 meters, and a very long windows are already installed, so that there is the sun break and wind break design appearance is there. This will help the building to duplicate the outside ventilated air to bring to get inside, so that when you compare for example, the outside climate is like 37, 34 or 40 degrees centigrade, it reduces by half of the outside temperature, meaning 70 to 20. This is without any devices like AC, fans or other conditioners. So this is the first quality of the Samani Hall. Through this all technical assessment, now the steps is stretched another 4 meters ahead, and the riser is 12 centimeter instead of 23, 24, we get by half, and the running we make it to 35. So any age group or any people, including the disabled, can access to get inside. And we provided also for the wheelchair one door access in the south directions. The other thing also, all chairs and benches have been removed and replaced the seats. The main structure, the seat is still there, but the seats and the backside part of the bench was also with double leather cover and synthetic cover already installed. And sponge, all things are changed. ACs, fans, plus solar systems, the city power and the generator power. All these options are already installed. Now by now, the Samani Hall is ready for any functions, for lecture hall, to host any meetings or seminars, conferences, because of the nature of Samani Hall is a multi-functional hall.
This is very crucial to the university, you see, as part of the learning environment. You see, if you go through the laboratories, the workshop, they are not really fit for any lectures or any laboratory work to take place. Now, renovating Samani, because now we are having big number of students, we need a bigger spaces, and we don't have auditorium that can take over 500 students to go, and Samani is the one.
Right now we have the projects that we are working on. We started with the School of Urban Planning, and then the main gate, we have Samani Hall, and then we are working with all the internal roads. We did also library. We are trying to renovate the girls' hostel, and then STEM center, that's the mechanical workshop. But we also have plans of renovating our labs. We go to boys' hostel. We are also we are going to do the same project, the pavement in Western Campus. And you know, even our main library has just been renovated, and our main challenge is resources, as I put it. We try to use the little that we have, so that we move from this project to the other one. Like the best opportunity that we had is we have a partner who can at least give us materials that means we have completed the payment for Samani Hall. Then we will move from pavement to any other project. Basically, we will move to the lab, we'll move to lecture halls, and so on. So this is how we are funding it. It's just trying to use the little resources that we have to do what we can so that we are self-reliant.
In terms of how far we intend to go with these activities that are ongoing, I think it is resources that is going to limit us. But otherwise, we have so much that we have in mind that we can do to change the face of this campus as such. Now, as you can see, there is a lot of improvement outside. Now, our next target is to move inward, to see to it that the learning spaces are improved. Of course, we have done Samani, which is now complete. We are transforming one of the stores, which we also want to transform into a learning space. And as long as we have the resources to transform whatever old structures that we have or build new ones, we will continue to do that.
On the academic front, the Vice-Chancellor highlighted the university's plans to introduce new schools and expand the university's academic programs from the current 14. The new schools slated to be incorporated into the university's programs includes School of Veterinary Medicine, School of Mathematics, School of Journalism, Petroleum Institute of Applied Science, and a preparatory college to mentor first-year students into choosing the right course to major in. The number of students at the University of Juba has also expanded to more than 18,000, with about 4,000 postgraduate students.
On academic front, we have new schools. We have the School of Veterinary Medicine and School of Mathematics, School of Journalism, Media, Communication and Media. These are new schools. We are trying to give them spaces within the available. We are trying to maintain the lecture halls that are actually. We are trying to put desks in the lecture halls. We are trying also to have. We have the whole college, a new preparatory college for first years, but also that college is responsible for the timetable across the university, and we have recruited something like is being assisted by two coordinators. One, the dean is one for science, one for social arts and humanities. Especially the first years don't have anybody to look after them because they are in the preliminary year. And we have also classroom monitors. Those guys, like 8 of them, there will be a number of them here on this campus, the other one in custom campus. They go and monitor classes and attendance of the teachers, whether they are coming, and they solve the problem, bottlenecks around. The numbers now are actually also on the front. They have increased. We have about 17 to 18,000 students now on campus, and we have almost 4,000 postgraduate. The postgraduate programs have increased from about 6 in 2014 now to about 42 this year, and they are increasing. So we are expanding academic program.
As a university, I think we are very proactive, we are innovative, and we keep on remodeling ourselves and always reinventing ourselves. If you look at our university motto, which we have just adopted during this administration, is inventing the future and transforming society. What do we mean by that? What we mean is that you cannot be stationary, you have to keep on making changes. We have moved from colleges to schools. That is a great achievement in itself. That is a move towards something better that we hope to. Because when this university was started, the aim was that these colleges will eventually will have schools. And this is what we are moving to. We are calling ourselves schools now. And in the process, this academic year only, we have started 3 schools. Some of them are completely new, others are amalgamation.
Yeah, of course, these things go hand in hand. The learning environment, if it is in poor shape, learning won't be more profitable out of that. So Samani Hall is a learning space. And as I mentioned here, now that we have completed it and we have put even solar power onto it, we will now move on to another learning space. And so because of resource limitation, we cannot do everything at once. We will always start based on the available resources and do what we can and move on.
The renovations of the university's landscape ranges from internal roads pavement, laying of concretes and aggregate on the motorways, planting different types of trees in the compound including fruit trees, shade trees as well as beautification and decoration flowers. These activities are installed to portray the good image of the university and to improve its physical environment and landscape. The renovation projects also stands out to prove the university's ability to manage large-scale projects with its own resources. Upon completion, the new look of the University of Juba and the format of budgeting and quality of work delivered would act as a benchmark for engineering students and hopeful clients in the construction market to understand how professional projects should be managed with an affordable cost.
These technical mechanisms. So how to proceed and how to minimize the costs. So the costs now become finally like 60% less or more from market price. By what? By making, number one, by producing all these concretes within the campus, different type of concretes. One, the concrete tiles for road of cars and for pedestrian or for walkways. At the same time also the curved stones, so that now the for car access, for car roads, the thickness is 8 centimeter, width 30 and length 40, and using this C20 to C25 concrete standard and putting also in the middle the reinforced mesh. So this is for car access, and at the same time also for walkway, 5 centimeter thick, 20 centimeter width and 30 centimeter length. So this is for walkway, and we are training also all South Sudanese, including some few outsiders and most of them from our students here, especially during their break time, and some of also actually working with their spare time. So that the curved stones also producing 60 centimeter, 30 centimeter and 13 centimeter width. All we are producing here. Then we are now using until last week around 350 trucks of aggregate, each aggregate or each truck having like 18 meter cube, 400 trips or 80 meter cube of each, 400 trips of sand, more than 21,000 bag of cement, and the formwork and the mold we produced here. So that with this combination, we first make labeling, grading, compacting and rolling all roads and all accesses. Finally, we have been removed many rubbish and some unnecessary trees, and we replace with the new fruit trees and Christmas trees, these Brazilian trees and these shaded umbrella trees. So the second part of this one also changing the image to uniform most buildings by putting in a very light gray and blue colors, and at the same time the color of the flag, part of the flag actually from that 5 colors, we are using the blue one for the roof. So now the image is at least something is better than before. So with this context, in combination of all stakeholders, the academic staff, administrative staff, and the students. All are now reflecting how the university is capable to handle its own objective by its own way or by its own resources. This is the main thing. Finally, to articulate to our curriculums and as an experiment, this research-based work is helping for all other departments, not only for this architecture or planning or engineering purpose. This is the concern of all schools and departments.
We have a committee that has been set, technical management committee, which sits down, plans all the things. Whatever project is there is brought to this body. We sit, is composed of senior management team of the University of Juba, which is the Vice Chancellor, the Deputy Vice Chancellors, academic registrars, the librarian, and engineering. We have all these people who meet together. Every project that is here, we sit down, discuss, and analyze the cost-benefit analysis. We do all that. So there's a senior management team that looks at each project and approves it before the work starts. So there's a quite central management which takes place to ensure that this happens. We are part of the town, and part of our mandate as universities is not just to train human resources, but it's also to work as what we call town and ground relationship, which we need to have with the town. And we want to, the safety of our students is also paramount to us. That's why we have these bumps erected along Thora Road, so that to calm down traffic. And which is, I think, is a very important thing. We need that so that students can walk in safety. And that's what we are doing. We are also interested in engaging with the city council, because if you look at the roundabout, the university roundabout, I think it is really congested. And the university is willing to concede some piece of land so that traffic turning to right coming from Malakia can go unhindered. And I think we're in the process of discussing that. Or traffic going to Nyakron coming from Isora, if we can concede probably 3 meters from there so that they turn. This is our contribution, also our contribution to the well-being of the nation or Juba town as such. We are as a university interested in working with all the stakeholders in the country to do research and to make suggestions of how we can improve. One of the things you even see now is that this road here is completely congested. I think if we can have a receptive audience, I think what you need is to have bypass, really, because this Juba Malakia and this road is congested. We need to think of ways of that, and the university has got the human resources, which is quite capable of advising the city and all the things on how to improve on this.
University of Juba has been a pioneer in many aspects as such, and as the oldest institution of higher learning in the country, and being even older than the Ministry of Higher Education itself, I think they can emulate from what we are doing, and they can also do something in their other institutions as well.
Is using this one as a research base. We want to involve our students, okay, to have experience and to actually engage fully in the construction work, in supervision. It's a training process. One is a training process. Number two is we are going to do it as a research program, so that, and then we extend it also to other institutions, so that we use these bases to try and reduce the cost. You know, most of the time we find our public institution being used by the contractors. The cost that they give is never equivalent to what the institution have. So, and that one will be incorporated in our curriculum, and all the students now will know this is the right rate for doing this equivalent job.
This project is not only to address the physical environments of the Juba University. Actually, when you come to the quality, still we are not satisfied with the quality. But the main thing is the message of practice, to connect theory with practice, is there now. So the first training is already implemented with this kind of change or development. So the next phase will become more better than today. This is now a good opportunity for binding as a binding agent of the university. So the university also will give to society or the general public or the nation qualified human resources who are oriented to make implementation of theory with practice immediately, just side by side. So what we are now applying last time, the vision and the plan and the implementation was moving together. So after the vision, immediately we just prepared the plan, then immediately the plan we come up to the implementation. So with this context, what's now coming? The budget and methodology. The budget, the university, just by little resource, what they have to at least start the work, and we make many mechanisms to borrow and to other supplies by installment basis. When we are working this thing, our students, when we are giving them some small directions, they are creating new ideas and extending more advanced methods and technologies. So this cultural or traditional potential, in combination with this, our some orientation, then they are combining this, and finally we are also now getting a chance to learn from them. So this kind of feeding each other attitude is really really very impressive for me. So for me, really a blessing opportunity.
I'm saying that people are easy to please when the moment you start to move. So I encourage everybody, to do their own effect. What it is that the philosophy should be, don't come into this room. If there is anything that needs fixing, fix it, and leave the room, in a better shape. So when we get these positions like this one, it's a privilege to us, to have this opportunity to serve. Now, life is short, okay? Don't think that there are bigger things, responsibility given to you ahead. What you have now, give it all your 200%, okay? And leave a legacy. Don't leave the place as it is. And I tell my colleague here, the ownership is all of us. We go out there, everybody, including the Director of Finance, Procurement, the services, the engineering, academic affairs, you have deans of, everybody, deans of library. When we meet here, I tell them, let us have ownership of what is going on.
The effect of the renovation will remain for years to come. However, the biggest challenge to sustaining the quality is proper maintenance and positive attitude from beneficiaries of the infrastructure. This project would also encourage other government institutions, private sector, and the general public to understand and appreciate the importance of quality service delivery.
You see, really, the environment is look nice, especially starting from July up to now. And if really our Vice Chancellor with a demonstration together is going to progress, especially with this renovation, we hope our university will look like other international universities around Africa.
Actually, it has been perceived in a positive way by the student. The administration have tried its best to really make sure the university looks clean, and we appreciate it, especially finishing the work of Samaning Hall, which has been a very big problem to us. We have been facing difficulties in halls.